The cursed blade snatches its next victim without mercy. Albert Joel stares at a massive Leviathan sketch, scoffs at its sloppy lines, and redraws the scene. Lord AZT3K looming like a dark god over the beast. The editor's frantic scribbles bleed dread, exposing a world already twisted by unseen puppeteers. This visual rewrite drags us straight toward the looming revelation about the world's true name and the hidden hands pulling the strings. The altered scene now pulls the reader toward the next shocking truth about the realm's identity. The narration announces the land as Wrath, then shatters the illusion by revealing its real name, Naj.
A cold thought freezes him. Killing the Helldog might trigger a fatal system error that erases his character. He mutters, "If I kill it, I might kill myself too." He yells, "Stay back!" To unseen allies, none appear. The warning matters because the corrupted guide could punish him for finishing the tutorial too quickly. A new, unfamiliar voice crackles through the static. A distorted echo from the guideline blares. "Even attacking me for?" Ding. The system misidentifies the Helldog as the player, flagging the strike as hostile. Hanbin stares, bewildered, as the guide flashes a warning, "Guide line." The glitch threatens endless loops unless he obeys its nonsensical command. Hanbin watches the guide flash garbled symbols, Hal Iho and a lone O. The corrupted code proves the AI is still malfunctioning. He scrambles to interpret the junk, gets nothing, and realizes the tutorial can't give a clear objective. The glitch clears as a crowd of chosen ones materializes before him. The screen blazes. All the chosen ones have been gathered. Dozens of numbered avatars appear beside his own. The guide finally registers that a selection process has completed. Hanbin realizes he's no longer alone in this nightmare. The presence of peers means fierce competition for scarce resources and a narrow escape route. Their numbers hint at a hidden quota that will soon be revealed. A panicked avatar cries out that there's an error with the guideline itself. The system repeats the warning, confirming the guideline file is corrupted. This means the tutorial rules are now unreliable, and players can't trust the instructions. The breakdown forces the chosen ones to improvise, heightening tension and danger in the hostile world. With the guideline broken, the next scene reveals a new, unknown trial appearing. The guideline glitches, flashing a garbled message about whatever it's, before cutting to only one person. The system thinks Hanbin Ryu is the sole subject of this tutorial, isolating him from any help and forcing him to rely on his own wits.
Error, subject identification incomplete.
The guideline warns Hanbin that his survival chance is under 5%. The cold voice lists his current capabilities. Low attack, minimal defense, no skills. He reads the numbers, feeling the crushing weight of the odds. The warning forces him to prioritize finding better gear or training fast, emphasizing how close he is to dying in this unforgiving tutorial. A sudden roar signals the next enemy's arrival. Hanbin stares at the floating text, eyes widening. He asks aloud, "What? Are you really?" The guideline repeats the question back in a glitchy echo, as if doubting its own output. His confusion deepens, realizing the system may be questioning its own reality. The system flashes a description of the warrior class, resource aura, and melee combat with various martial arts. Hanbin reads it, sighing, realizing the class thrives in games, not in this broken simulation. This matters because he now knows his only viable path is brute force, limiting his options. He wonders if any other class could actually help him survive.
Dawn cracks over mist-shrouded cliffs of Thelma Rathna as Hanbin darts toward a flickering rune etched into stone. The guideline blares, invalid class selection, magician unavailable, while the rune pulses amber, granting a sudden surge of stamina. He slams his makeshift spear into the glowing glyph, triggering a hidden portal that erupts with wind.
The system finally forces the warrior class on Hanbin and offers a starter weapon. It labels the item Long Sword, then immediately corrects to Long Spear, accompanied by a burst of error codes. Hanbin mutters, "Fine, at least it's better than a rock," and grips the spear, knowing it's his only tool against the Helldog. The mislabel could affect his combat style, making his first fight risky. I'll use this spear. The Helldog lunges as the battle begins. The Helldog snarls, teeth bared, as the corrupted interface flashes an unreadable character Thong. The creature leaps, and Hanbin swings the spear, landing a shallow hit. The glitchy UI continues to spit nonsense, distracting both combatants. Hanbin's guideline glitches, forces the warrior class, then swaps his long sword for a long spear as a corrupted Helldog lunges, and he lands a desperate spear strike. Hanbin feels the crushing weight of a broken system, losing confidence in his choice, while clinging to a fragile hope that the flawed weapon might still protect him. The UI flashes a cryptic ID and a garbled symbol, hinting at hidden data that could reveal the true nature of the glitch before the next monstrous wave erupts. Watch who you trust. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Bloodied, the Sword King faces a relentless horde while his portal home shatters. The narrator's eyes land on a towering Leviathan illustration, its title blared across the page. Lord AZT3K's name flickers in the corner, hinting at a hidden overseer. The scene bursts with frantic combat, blades clashing against snarling monsters. The chaos signals the start of Ryu Hanbin's desperate grind. The next scene reveals how long he's survived this nightmare. Ryu counts the days he's been stuck in the Rock Mountain zone. He mutters that it's been 7 days since his arrival. The passage of time fuels his frustration, showing the tutorial's endless grind. He soon turns to the system for answers. Ryu exhales. I finally won. He looks at the system's food log, which lists Helldog meat as high-fat protein and its blood as a mineral-rich drink. The guide suggests cooking the meat and drinking the blood for optimal recovery. This hints the tutorial is feeding him to keep him alive while it tests him. I finally won. He now questions why the world feels so manufactured. The barren landscape and concludes the area is artificially created. He mutters that there must be a reason the system trapped him here. Otherwise, the endless grind makes no sense. This realization sets up his search for the hidden meetup beyond the tutorial zone. Ryu battles a wave of Helldogs that grow tougher as he does. Each strike drains his stamina, but the monsters keep coming. He finally defeats the last one, and the system flashes his new experience total, out of exceeding the requirement. The interface announces his level up, confirming he has reached level. This matters because it unlocks the next skill slot and moves him nearer to level. The next skill could change his fighting style. The system grants Ryu the side slash skill as soon as he levels up. He immediately tests it on a fresh batch of Helldogs, cutting through their ranks with a sweeping motion. Ryu pulls out a ration pack, eats quickly, and wipes his mouth. He spots 3 level Helldogs regrouping and attacks them one after another, exterminating each with precise strikes. After the battle, he leans against a rock, exhausted, and falls asleep again. The extermination clears the area, allowing him to gather the experience needed for level. A flickering portal appears, promising a chance to reach Rathna. The system flickers and spits out garbled text. It shows MIFNN, then FE10 Venia 10. Ryu watches the nonsense, realizing the guide is still broken. The broken messages remind him the tutorial won't end on its own.
Error. Data corrupted.
An error message flashes in garbled text. Then the system displays Ryu Hanbin Swordsman LV, followed by Ryu Hanbin Swordsman LV. The contradictory levels confuse him, suggesting the tutorial loop is still broken. The glitch could reset his progress if not fixed.
Error detected. Data mismatch.
He opens his status window to verify his true stats. Ryu pulls up his status screen. It lists him as LV. Swordsman with strength, health, recover, defense, vision, dexterity, and speed values. The screen also shows the 3 newly unlocked skills. This confirms his base level is still low despite the LV label, meaning the system still underestimates his power. Ryu Hanbin looks at his status screen. It reads Swordsman LV. He mutters that he finally understands his class. The system repeats the line twice, then flashes an error. The glitch means his progress might not register, keeping him stuck in the tutorial. He now hopes the next wave will finally push him out of this loop. Ryu slashes at a pack of low-level Helldogs, using only basic attacks. He lands a quick stab, then a side slash, then a vertical slash as the tutorial prompts suggest. Each hit grants a tiny burst of experience. The combat proves he can survive the wave, but the system still glitches his level display. Ryu keeps slashing hell dogs that grow stronger with each hit. He watches his experience bar climb, counting each kill. The dog's attacks intensify, but his 3 unlocked skills let him chain combos. He checks his XP constantly, making sure he doesn't miss the threshold. The relentless grind pushes his level closer, proving his combat is finally paying off despite the system's errors. Only a few points separate him from the promised meetup. Ryu sees experience left to reach level 5. He mutters about the Lucky 7 myth, hoping luck will finally turn his favor. He launches another combo, slicing through the remaining dogs, and the XP bar ticks upward. The horizon for allies. He whispers a wish that useful players appear this time. He knows any help could cut his grinding short. This matters because without allies he remains trapped in the grind. He soon discovers a strange signal flickering on his HUD. Ryu spots a glowing marker on the map and asks aloud what this world is. He wonders if the area was abandoned or deliberately hidden. He suspects the environment is part of the system's test. This matters because understanding the world's purpose could reveal an exit. The marker leads him to a cracked stone slab. Ryu steps onto the slab and watches the system label it broken. Ryu steps onto the glowing slab, and the system labels it broken, triggering a cascade of corrupted code that shatters the tutorial's facade and forces the hidden rock mountain zone to erupt open. He feels his sanity fray as the 5th reset reveals the world looping like a glitch, realizing every missed ally and wasted decade costs him another chance at freedom, while a flickering XP bar taunts his dwindling hope. The crimson sky flashes a new login prompt, login successful, Latna. Yet the mysterious etched number glows ominously, hinting at a deeper command that could either bind him forever or unleash the next deadly trial. He saw this coming 50 chapters ago. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. 10 years of fighting hell dogs, and the Sword King's blood still haunts me. The scene flashes a garbled text about a Leviathan, a translator named Albert, and a lord called AZT3K. Albert's notes get erased, and a mysterious cleaner redraws the page. The system's glitch flickers, hinting that the whole tutorial is broken. This error fuels the endless loop Ryu can't escape. The glitch will force Ryu to confront his home again. Ryu blinks, thinking he's back in his old apartment. He hears his own voice say he just finished military service. He tells himself to sleep a little longer, hoping for normal life. The false sense of safety sets him up for the next shock. A strange glitch flashes the numbers on his HUD, followed by a garbled symbol that looks like Sura. The odd output hints the system is corrupted further, possibly offering a clue to exploit. The mystery code teases a hidden function. You feel the weight of his endless torment as he agonizes over suicide, wondering if dying will finally send him home. He admits a part of him still refuses to end it, hinting at a hidden drive to keep fighting. This internal conflict may drive his next move.
You were never supposed to survive this far.
The next glitch might give him the answer he needs.
The system flashes a number. Ryu glances at the floating readout, realizing his current level indicator finally updates after decades of stagnation. The number hints the tutorial may be moving forward, but it offers no real power. It's a tiny sign that the glitched system still tracks him. That single digit could be the key to breaking his loop. Random glyphs appear on the screen. Jung, Hal, Sura. The corrupted interface spits out unreadable symbols, confirming the system's broken state. Ryu stares at the nonsense, frustration building as the tutorial refuses to give useful info. The glitch shows he can't trust the guideline any longer.
The hell dog, unfazed by Ryu's shield, snaps its jaws and releases a rapid barrage of thunderbolts, blinding light and searing fire. The spells slam into Ryu's shield, cracking it and sending shockwaves across the ruins. Ryu winces as the energy burns his skin, but he stays upright, refusing to fall. The pain proves the dog's magic is deadly, and more beasts gather around. A larger pack emerges, their shadows stretching over the battlefield. Ryu slams his fists into the ground, sending a massive wall of earth toward the approaching Helldog pack. The earth rises fast, blocking the beasts and buying him a moment to regroup. He hopes the barrier holds long enough to plan his next move.
Latna darts through the crumbling arena as thunder rips the sky, his abyssal edge humming with resonance. Mira knocks an arrow, its tip glowing with Solara's cursed runes, and releases it toward the oncoming Crimson Legion. Eldrick intercepts a spear, shattering it with a swift downward slash that sends sparks scattering across the blood-stained sand. Around them, the crowd roars, unaware that each strike feeds the dormant void maw beneath their feet, inching the world closer to oblivion.
Hanbin Ryu bursts from his crumbling shack as the Helldog's jaws shatter the walls, then unleashes a ferocious vertical triple impact that tears the beast in half. Hanbin Ryu opens his stats screen. Strength shows health, defense, dexterity, speed low. He mutters that his numbers are pitiful for a survivor. He notes he's still stuck at level after 22 years. He thinks about needing food and meeting other people, and wonders how much longer this nightmare will last. This matters because his weak stats explain why the system never lets him advance. These numbers are trash. He still hopes the next glitch will boost him. Ryu tells himself he will live as long as he's alive. He forces a positive mindset, saying a day will come when he escapes the tutorial. This matters because his morale fuels the risky plan to break the loop. The console flashes a new line, Activate Generation. Ryu hesitates, then slams the activation button. A bright pulse erupts, erasing the surrounding demons and weakening the Helldog's form. The stone plateau cracks, revealing a hidden stairway descending into darkness. Ryu eyes the stair, aware it may lead to the core of the corrupted system. He takes a deep breath, steadies his grip, and steps onto the first rung, descending into the unknown. Below, the bugged kid from the intro watches, ready to reveal his secret. Ryu forces the glitch-coded entry to self-destruct, unleashing a blinding pulse that vaporizes the Helldog and shatters the corrupted lattice beneath him. He stakes his very sanity on breaking the loop, gaining a fleeting hope of escape while risking annihilation of his fragile mind. The console flashes Activate Generation again, but the new code spirals upward, hinting at a deeper corruption that could swallow the entire Rathna continent. I brought the story to life. Now bring this channel to life. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. 6 Divine Assassins track a cursed swordsman whose stolen immortality could shatter Rathna. A massive Leviathan-like creature roars across a shattered skyline. The system's corrupted guide flickers, showing a broken tutorial code. Lord AZT-3K watches the chaos from a shadowed balcony, his eyes cold. The scene signals that Hanbin Ryu is already deep in danger.
You were never supposed to survive this far.
The hunt tightens as the continent's true enemies appear. A blood-red sky spreads, the sun never rising. Dead branches litter the ground, whispering of a cursed land. Hanbin Ryu trudges through the wasteland, coughing dust. He wonders why the world is stuck in perpetual dusk. Hanbin Ryu bursts from his 20-year tutorial prison just as Rathna erupts in blood-soaked chaos. He slams his glitch-laden guide into the ground, sparks flying, and lunges at the wyvern dragon hybrid snarling beside Zephyr. Beside him, Latin brandishes the Latna sword. Mural chants a healing chant, and the world's hatred for otherworlders ignites into a desperate, blade-lit alliance. Hanbin charges, yelling, "Heh! How ridiculous you are! Grab my sword now!" He swings, striking the Chimera's wing. The monster reels, giving Hanbin a brief opening. This hit proves he can land blows despite his low level, and it may be the key to surviving the goddess hunt. Zephyr hovers above the clearing, eyes narrowed at the carnage. She thinks letting otherworldly humans survive was a terrible mistake. Suddenly, a massive wyvern screeches, its scales glinting. Its level reads, far stronger than any dragon she's faced. The creature circles, claws ready, proving the forest hides far deadlier beasts.
Letting otherworldly humans live was foolish.
The wyvern size forces Zephyr to reconsider her next move. Zephyr observes the wyvern's anatomy, noting its 4 legs and shoulder-mounted wings. She mutters that big wyverns have 4-leg wings, unlike true dragons. She recalls that when these beasts die, their bodies vanish, leaving no trace. Rathians rarely enter this forest, so the creature assumes she's an otherworldly intruder.
Hanbin recounts being kidnapped and left to rot on a mountain for decades. He questions whether the entire continent will become his enemy and wonders if the goddesses are truly terrifying enough to cause such suffering.
This reveals his personal trauma and sets up his looming confrontation with the divine. His next move will force a direct encounter with a goddess. You hear Hanbin Ryu mutter that he doesn't care about making deals with goddesses or becoming their pawn. He swears he'll kill the demon god and get back home alive. He clenches his fists, eyes blazing with rage. The promise fuels his resolve to break free from the endless tutorial. Hanbin slams his fist into the glowing contract tablet, sealing his oath to become a hunter as the massive fortress wall looms behind him, its towering gates igniting with arcane fire. He feels the crushing weight of abandoning his past survival alone on a mountain, trading freedom for a perilous pact that could cost his soul while he vows to slay the demon god. The contract flickers ominously, hinting at hidden clauses, as unseen hunters eye him warily, leaving the true cost of his new destiny and the goddess-driven war looming just beyond the city gates. The real villain hasn't even shown their face yet. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to find out who it is.
The Sword King's blade shatters. The Empire's last hope bleeds on the battlefield. A massive Leviathan mural, muttering about his nakedness betraying him. He warns that even without suspicious gear, his lack of clothing will give him away, and the other party will kill him after he helps. This sets the stakes. He must stay hidden while cooperating. The uneasy alliance hangs by a thread as the guild entrance looms. The cloaked figure accuses his companion of being a wanted beast, reminding them both have blood on their hands. He points out the risk of exposing his identity to anyone else. Eric asks the clerk why the system is broken and demands to read the missing text. The clerk shrugs, saying the system never worked right for outsiders. He warns Eric that many have failed because of the same glitch. Eric feels the pressure to act before the guild notices his ignorance.
System broken. Many failed this way. Be careful.
The warning foreshadows a looming test that could expose Eric's weakness. The clerk stresses extra caution, noting other newcomers fell into traps by acting like foreigners. He scolds Eric for his nervousness, pointing out his hair is a mess and his body trembles.
Eric looks at the massive control scene and thinks destroying the whole facility would be easy. He hesitates, remembering the guild's rules and the potential fallout for other newcomers. Instead, he chooses to follow the procedure, hoping the system will finally let him register. His choice keeps the guild intact and avoids a needless massacre. The next scene shows his reaction to a shocking stat readout. Eric's eyes widen as the display flashes another hunter's stats, towering numbers he's never seen. He realizes the displayed hunter is at heroic level, far above his own level rank. Eric feels a surge of fear and awe, knowing he's outclassed and vulnerable. A gruff veteran mutters about the level starters. Those wretch start at level and brag about becoming hunters. He scoffs at the EX registration fee. Never thought I'd be happy to pay that. My level is so low. The rant exposes the steep economic barrier and the elite's contempt for newcomers, tightening Lien's odds. X? That's a fortune. The fee forces Lien to seek a quick boost before the next dangerous assignment. Eric Garoon reads the registration price, EX, about $3,000. He mutters that he's saved up EX and wonders if the money will last months. The cost shocks him, showing how poor newcomers are forced to dig deep just to join. Callie steps forward, warning the group not to fight the creature. She points at a level hunter, asking if he's dreaming about becoming the Sword King. She mocks the hunter's big-sounding title and the oversized weapon he's carrying. Her sarcasm reveals the tension between seasoned hunters and clueless newbies. The hunter's reaction could spark a showdown. The level hunter draws his sword, charging at the insect. The insect darts, spraying poison. Callie throws a shield, blocking the spray. Matisse casts a fire spell, lighting the creature's wings. The battle erupts, forcing everyone to cooperate despite their differences. Their teamwork decides whether they survive the ambush. The insect's true form looms as the fight intensifies. A high-level hunter finally slashes the armored insect's exposed joint, shattering its core and unleashing a blinding burst that rattles the dungeon walls. Callie's frantic rally saves a low-rank hunter from hesitation, but the beast's roar shatters the guild's confidence, leaving them questioning who truly commands the Sword King's title. The insect's shattered shell reveals a deeper, pulsating heart that thrums with unknown power, hinting at a far deadlier menace waiting beyond the shadows. Leveling up has never looked this good. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. A level rookie must survive a guild-wide bloodbath or die alone. Eric stands in the crowded Tavern of Honoris, eyes scanning the notice board. He spots a desperate guild posting for hunters. He steps forward, hoping to join. The guild master eyes him, doubts his skill. Eric's chance to prove himself hangs on this request.
You think you can keep up, rookie?
The guild's next hunt will test Eric's resolve. Eric follows the guild leader, Berkman, to the outskirts of town. Berk points to the Eifin Plains, explains the Devoke swarm there. He hands Eric a basic sword and a low-level quest scroll. Eric nods, trying to hide his nerves. Berk explains that Honoris grew because of the nearby dungeon and monsters. He says the city's economy revolves around hunters bringing back monster materials for trade. This matters because it shows why the party is so eager to hunt and why stronger monsters are needed for profit.
Honoris thrives on monster hunting trade.
If you want more daily recaps, hit that subscribe button now. Berk maps out the two main hunting zones, the Eifin Plains dungeon and the entrance of Lathe Forest. He adds that small villages near the forest lack food, and monsters rarely leave the trees, so subjugation quests are scarce. This matters because it foreshadows the party's need to venture deeper for real experience. Berkman's younger sister, a level spiritualist named Erwin ROP, rushes to Eric's side, asking if he's okay after the recent clash. She warns him not to die, while Eric grumbles that he can survive another day. Their exchange shows the strained bond between the siblings and the pressure on Eric to stay alive. Tensions rise as they prepare for the next hunt. Eric shouts, "Fire hammer!" as he brandishes his sword, attempting a flashy attack on a low-level monster. The move sparks briefly but does little damage, exposing his overconfidence. The party watches, half amused, half concerned that Eric's showboating may attract stronger foes. A real challenge looms just beyond the forest's edge. The party reaches the outskirts of the next zone, and a silent figure greets them with a brief "hi." The simple greeting marks the transition to a new hunting ground, setting up the upcoming challenge in the Eifin Plains. The mysterious newcomer may hold the key to locating the high-level Devoke.
Rex stalks the crowded bazaar of Honoris, eyes flicking between glittering trinkets and suspicious traders. He spots Mira Celine haggling over a battered map that marks the hidden entrance to the Eifin Plains dungeon. She flashes a quick grin, slaps a coin onto the stall, and whispers, "The crown's trail leads through that ruin, follow me, and we'll outrun the Devoke."
Eric demands, "There should be at least one. LV, species Haku, LV, species Mudian, at least one monster." He points to his map, listing expected monster levels. Berkman checks his notes and confirms the area should host those beasts. Their absence signals a deeper problem with the local ecosystem. There should be at least one. LV, species Haku, LV, species Mudian, at least one monster. Berkman decides to investigate the nearby Lathe Forest. Berkman asks, "Isn't it scary living here by yourself? There really isn't a monster as strong as me here in the forest." Eric replies, "There really isn't." Both acknowledge the forest's weakness. A colossal, hellhound-like beast erupts from the clearing, shattering the party's hope for easy loot and forcing Eric and Berkman into a desperate, all-out assault. Eric wrestles with crushing self-doubt as his perceived power evaporates. Yet the looming monster ignites a fierce resolve, risking everything to prove his worth before darkness consumes them. The beast releases a guttural roar, its flaming eyes locking onto them, and the forest trembles as an unseen threat looms, leaving their survival hanging by a razor-thin thread. Everyone who finished this video subscribed. Be like everyone. Hit the button Manwa with Hari. Blood splatters the arena as the beast vanishes in a whisper. Leviathan, the trembling Loudy Party Mage, steps into the clearing, robes fluttering, eyes wide. He shivers, clutching his thin garments, and glances at the group. Everyone freezes, unsure if his nakedness is a curse or a cruel joke. The stakes skyrocket. They need his magic to survive the looming menace. Why is the Loudy Party Mage exposed? All eyes lock on Leviathan, waiting for answers while danger prowls nearby. A sudden rustle snaps the party's attention. Claude, the level magic swordsman, lifts his blade, eyes blazing. He points toward the dark thicket, shouting that something moved. Weapons snap to readiness as the sound swells. The leader repeats his demand, threatening dire consequences for lies. He brandishes his sword, eyes flashing. A quiet voice finally admits they saw nothing. Anger flares, and the leader warns that betrayal won't be tolerated. This showdown threatens to fracture the party's trust. The fracture may let the monster slip through their defenses. A member scoffs at the leader's obsession with Claude, questioning why he's singled out. He points out the real problem, the unseen monster. The argument escalates, shifting focus from the beast to internal grudges. Their distraction lets the hidden threat grow stronger. The monster's roar swells louder as they argue. The party reaches a ridge. The party gathers around a cracked stone tablet. The carving shows garbled symbols that look like Zero Oran Mods I. Miral tries to read it, but the text is corrupted and no one can decipher it. The mystery fuels their worry about the dungeon's true purpose. The strange inscription hints at a trap the monster might be using. Tyrion Vash compares the thunder gain of their current weapon to the legendary JIS 13A31 blade, declaring the new sword's power far weaker than the mythic one. He admits he never wanted to rely on such dangerous relics. Their doubts about equipment's effectiveness grow. Their skepticism pushes them to search for a stronger weapon before the beast appears.
Someone reports that Mr. Eric rescued a wounded member swiftly, making the situation seem impossible to fix. They acknowledge they've done all they can. A muffled MMR Loudy drifts, hinting at a hidden command or code. The statement underscores their limited options. The mysterious MMR Loudy may trigger the monster's appearance. Claude sits alone, bruised and silent. The others whisper that he caused the trouble, but nobody reaches out. His pain runs deeper than the accusation. The system glitch that trapped him for decades still haunts him. He watches the party argue, feeling abandoned and helpless. This isolation fuels his desperation to prove himself, or he risks breaking completely. Someone suggests the high-level monsters could actually help them gain levels faster. They argue fighting such foes might be a shortcut to power. This tempts the group to take a dangerous risk for rapid growth. Their debate sets up a plan that could backfire badly. You watch them plot a secret run into the dungeon, even if it means sneaking past the strict entry checks. One member declares he must go alone, citing the need to gather intel and hunt the hidden monsters. This could expose them to the evil god's traps and jeopardize the whole party. The next scene shows the lone scout slipping past the guardians.
The party stops near a ruined hut. Miral sighs, "I haven't slept in 3 months." She wonders if the house is still usable. The comment shows exhaustion and lack of safe shelter. "Where's the house? I can't rest." Their search for a safe place pushes them deeper into the forest. A low, unsure voice mutters "me" near the edge of the clearing. The nervous young scout, Claude, seems confused by the surroundings, his anxiety rising. "Me." Claude's panic may trigger a reckless move soon. A massive roar erupts as a level croc appears, its name bellowed by the woods. Elvi, species Ta Tyro Croc Croc Croc. The monster's arrival forces everyone to scramble. Heijin shouts that the guideline system lied to them. He grabs the tiny knife, exclaiming it's knife. That knife-shaped magic. Ah no, that knife. Dead one, stupid. Me, no stupid. He realizes the knife's magic is corrupted and that it killed someone earlier. The party now knows their equipment may be a trap. They scramble to discard the cursed blade. The party yells, "Knife no hurt us. Eat knife holder." as they try to dispose of the weapon. A frantic voice warns, "Kakak dungeon outside. Dangerous. Hurry." The group rushes toward the dungeon entrance, fearing the monster will follow. Escaping the forest into the dungeon may be their only chance to survive. The party triggers a blinding sigil, launching them through a spiraling vortex straight into the yawning maw of the earth as the colossal croc looms, armor glinting menacingly. Miral sacrifices her safety, clutching the teleport sigil while Heijin watches his blade slip, fearing the loss of his comrades and the hope they carry. The vortex drops them onto unseen depths, the echoing roar of the croc reverberating, leaving the dungeon's darkness and the monster's true intent shrouded in lethal uncertainty. There's a twist coming that nobody sees coming. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari, you'll want to be ready. A blinding spatial transition spell erupts, ripping the party from the battlefield and hurling them into the Pen Plains dungeon. The portal's chaos spews monsters into a nearby village, tearing roofs and screaming. Laz, Mira, and the others dive for cover as the dungeon walls shudder. Before they can decipher the enemy's aim, they're forced into a brutal fight. Deep inside, a hidden power core pulses ominously, promising that someone covets its energy. The creator of this rift remains a shadowy threat. "I've never seen a portal appear out of thin air," Laz shouts, panic flashing in his eyes. Mira curses the strange magic, blaming a system glitch. Laz roars, "Off!" and hurls a magical blast at the portal's edge. The barrier explodes with a deafening BAM as energy ripples outward. OPI dives, shielding Mira from the shockwave. The portal flickers, sputters, and finally destabilizes, halting the monster influx.
Off! Bam!
The dying portal leaves a cracked wall, hinting at a hidden power source still humming beneath. Chad AK, hi damn it, hitting it with an axe won't change anything. Magic's the only way. Laz shouts, gesturing at the core's humming heart. Alicia cries, "Kia! Apps!" as a wave of arcane light erupts, sealing the core's energy. The burst steadies the dungeon's walls and silences the monster roar.
Laz bolts down a dim corridor as stone walls tremble, sparks flashing from concealed rooms. Mira shouts, "Cover the left," while slashing a swarm of Totiro, each strike scattering crimson shards. Grandmaster Huan summons a gust, blowing monsters back into the tunnel's maw. Tess hurls a glowing vial, its acid vapor searing the remaining foes, and the power core thuds into Laz's outstretched hand. The battle roars around them.
Totiro lunges at Laz, claws snapping. He slashes, but the creature's armor deflects the blow. The monster pushes its arms to shield its head, yet the gaps between its shells are too tight for its own weapons. Laz misses, and the beast retreats, snarling. Another hunter sneers, claiming injured explorers are useless and questioning Laz's motives for aiding a stranger. Laz retorts, proud of his hunter's creed, refusing to back down. The hunter mutters about a road ahead, hinting at an upcoming battle. Their clash of ideals fuels urgency. The looming Totiro king waits. Laz curses his aching stomach as they trek the road. Sharp pain spikes, threatening to halt him. He recalls the injury the Hyanoinan potion couldn't heal, yet he still pushes to aid the stranger. His desperation shows dwindling resources and every step could be fatal. A rumble soon forces them to move faster. The ground shudders, a deep rumble rolling through the tunnel. A Totiro lunges. Laz dashes away, screaming in terror. He barely evades a deadly strike, proving the monsters are faster than he expected.
Dashes.
The danger forces the party to split. Laz yells for everyone to run as the tunnel erupts with monsters. He tries to lead a retreat, but panic spreads. Their disorganized flight threatens to lose the power core.
Sue. Run. Danger.
The chaos draws the Totiro King's attention. Survivors reach the far side, gasping. A glowing power core sits atop a broken altar, promising to end the portal threat.
The other side of the dungeon.
Now they must defeat the Totiro King to claim the core.
Laz notes the Totiro King lies dead. A mid-boss, yet no loot appears. He recalls that taking the power core should cause nearby monsters to vanish, allowing safe leveling. Scanning the area, he sees only scattered Totiro and the final boss still alive, sensing something missing. The core could end the monster surge threatening the village. Next, Laz tests his fire spell on the remaining foes. Laz checks his mana, only 30 points remain. He channels a burst of fire from his hand, blasting a nearby Totiro. He shouts that the flame is more than enough for a man's fantasy. The monster erupts into ash, showing Laz can still unleash powerful attacks despite low resources.
Laz seizes the pulsing power core from the shattered altar, its fireball energy igniting the cramped corridor and sealing the portal as the Totiro King's corpse smolders. He feels a surge of hope grasping the artifact, yet his mana dwindles to 30 points, forcing him to gamble fire against relentless monsters while his comrades stare, desperate. A high-pitched scream reverberates from deeper shadows, and the glowing orb flickers uncertainly, hinting that a greater, unseen horror stalks the darkness, ready to erupt. Giving you the best manhwa content is my job. Hitting that subscribe button is yours. Welcome to Manwa with Hari. His blade slices steel. If he hadn't vanished, his armor would shred. The tentacle beholder snarls, promising to turn Hanbin into manure. It taunts him, then lunges, its massive tentacles whipping the air. Hanbin dodges the first strike, feeling the creature's cruel humor. The boss's words echo, hinting at a twisted pact if Hanbin survives.
Die and become dungeon fertilizer.
The beasts offer looms as Hanbin readies his next move. The floating monster attacks, covering its square meter zone with rapid tentacles. It swings, aiming for the blind spots Hanbin can't see. Hanbin rolls, slipping past a snapping limb, then counters with a quick slash at a vulnerable joint. The creature recoils, its strength briefly faltering. The system flashes a level requirement of on the core's interface, unlike any ordinary tool. Hanbin checks his own level only and scoffs, calling the restriction trash. He argues that anyone who reached this depth should already meet the requirement, so the warning is meaningless. This confidence pushes him to attempt taking the core despite the warning. It shows his reckless drive to win. His bold move triggers the core's final defense. The core fragments break off and glitter in Hanbin's hand. Hunters start treating these fragments as symbols of honor, trading them for high prices on the black market.
A massive, floating tentacle beholder appears in the widening cavern. Its many eyes glint, and its tentacles writhe menacingly. Hanbin reads the on-screen level. He realizes the fight will grant huge experience. The hunters brace, knowing this boss could end their quest or kill them. The creature's sarcasm soon cuts deeper than its attacks. Hanbin mutters that there's no time for jokes. He tightens his grip on his weapon, focusing on the battle. He notes his arms and legs feel restrained by the cramped and the boss's aura. The warning fuels his urgency. A slip could mean instant death. The fight's pace quickens as the beast tests their limits.
Hanbin grabs the core, shouting kudo, while the guild's emblem glows on his armor. He declares, "My honor within the guild, as well as my party," signaling he intends to protect his reputation and his teammates. Securing the core destabilizes the dungeon, forcing everyone to flee or be crushed. Kudo, my honor within the guild, as well as my party. The collapsing tunnel forces the hunters toward the exit, where a hidden enemy awaits. Hanbin watches the tentacle beholder thrash wildly. The creature shouts, "Even my egg, that," then turns on Hanbin, accusing him.
The monster snarls, "I'll give you a chance if you surrender." It points a glowing tentacle at the core, offering a twisted bargain. Hanbin hesitates, eyeing the trembling hunters. The boss's promise of mercy feels like a trap. The core's glow intensifies, threatening to overload. "Give me your experience." The offer hangs, and the hunters brace for the boss's next move. The creature demands, "Give me your experience." It pulls a hunter's memories, causing the man to convulse and scream. Energy streams from the victim into the core, amplifying its power. The other hunters watch in horror as their comrade fades. The boss feeds on their pain, growing stronger. Chinese letter.
Hanbin lunges at the glowing core, wrenching it free as the cavern erupts in blinding light, while the tentacle beholder's cruel grin widens, promising a reshaped mid-boss. The hunters watch helplessly as their comrades' desperate strike risks collapsing the dungeon, sacrificing their chance at survival for a fleeting hope of breaking the monster's twisted bargain. The core's flare destabilizes the entire abyss, and the beast's dark monologue hints at an even greater hunger, leaving the cavern on the brink of total ruin and the survivor's fate hanging by a thread. What are you waiting for? Hit the button. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Human blood forged monsters, and the Sword King's blade betrayed his own comrades. Parasites crawl from captured party members, injecting the hostiles. The monster's intelligence outsmarts the humans, so the party loses several hostages. The infected become vectors for a new threat. This forces the survivors to rethink their strategy. The next scene shows the infected beginning to transform. The parasites trigger a grotesque metamorphosis. The hostages convulse, break their restraints, and rise as towering monsters. Their newfound power dwarfs the party's weapons. The party scrambles, trying to retreat while the monsters roar. The transformation proves the parasites are lethal weapons. The monsters now guard the dungeon's core. General Daehoon Park grabs his report scroll and tells the Inquisitor he must report back to the Order. He writes a formal complaint about the monster's corruption and the missing core. The Inquisitor eyes the scroll, considering a crackdown on Earthlings. This report could trigger a church-wide purge.
Report to the Order now.
The party discovers a glitch in the system, an error tag flashing bug. On the screen, Myri taps the console, hoping to reset the dungeon core. The bug could be their only chance to restore power and reopen the portal. Stay subbed to Manwa with Hari, or you'll miss the climax.
You weren't supposed to survive.
Heijin rushes forward, apologizing for the sudden noise. He admits he panics when Eric disappears without a word. Myri sighs, says Eric's disappearance could be serious, but claims nothing odd happened yet. Their exchange shows the group's tension over a missing ally who might hold crucial information. Kiya. Oh, sorry. Eric, you made me worry. Disappearing without saying a word. Heijin asks if anything happened recently. No one reports any incident. The silence confirms that Eric's absence is the only oddity right now. This leaves the group uncertain about any hidden threat. The next clue might come from the forest itself. The console flashes a massive EXP gain, 100,000 points. A weary voice mutters, "I'm done for," as the party member slumps, clutching a damaged weapon. The statement reflects their exhaustion after the grueling fight and the overwhelming EXP hurdle ahead. Their morale drops, risking a loss of focus just as the Inquisitor's hunt intensifies. If they give up now, the party loses a key fighter. The Inquisitor's shadow looms closer, demanding a desperate decision. A week passes with no monsters roaming outside Sat Forest. The party's carriage stops at the guild gate. A guard steps forward, slams a hand on the wood, and demands a permit. He tells them they cannot enter without proper paperwork. The party's frustration grows because their hunt supplies have dried up.
An Inquisitor appears, announcing the church's hunt for Earthlings. He explains they will drag anyone above level and torture them for confession, because they can't tell humans from Earthlings. The party notes that both Mr. Buckman and Madame Amber exceed level, which is why many hunters have fled town. This raises the stakes. The party risks being captured or killed by the church. The Inquisitor's next target may be right beside them. A hunter mutters the word Earthlings. Another replies that they will never be welcomed. The exchange underscores the town's hostility toward high-level outsiders. It foreshadows that the party will face constant discrimination and danger. The growing hatred will soon force a desperate decision. A gruff guard yells at a trembling boy, demanding he listen. The boy repeats, half of half, and the guard snaps, "Young lad, are you deaf?" The guard then warns that even if you pay, an Inquisitor will still intervene. This shows the Inquisitor's power overrides money, tightening the town's grip on outsiders. The boy's ears ring as the guard's threat echoes. Hanbin Ryu arrives late to the crowd, mutters he'll wait his turn, and steps back. A whispered voice points out the looming presence of the Church of Darkness and the Inquisitor. The revelation makes everyone uneasy, hinting that the Church will soon act against them. Hanbin eyes the dark, cloaked figure, ready for trouble. Hanbin Ryu shatters the 2-decade tutorial prison, crashing into the torchlit market as the glitching system dies, and his blade cleaves a frenzied mob while the looming Church of Darkness watches. The townsfolk teeter between desperate survival and betrayal, fearing abandonment without the dungeon's power, while Hanbin risks becoming the scapegoat that could doom everyone he strives to protect. A whispered warning about the Inquisitor's return erupts, leaving Hanbin surrounded by suspicion, an untrackable general, and a hidden enemy whose next move could ignite a kingdom-wide war. The choice is yours, but the right answer is subscribing to Manwa with Hari.